Hold up, hold up, hold up. Did you see what just happened? After the final whistle? Did you see Argentina's complete meltdown? This is not football. This is chaos. This is desperation. Argentina players couldn't accept the loss. They lost. They actually lost, and they couldn't handle it. So what did they do? They attacked, they fought, they tried to hurt Spanish players. They were crying, shouting, screaming, raging, and the entire world just watched Argentina's corruption narrative collapse. If you're not subscribed to Robert's Football Talk right now, this is the moment to hit that button, because this video is going to be absolutely explosive. Welcome to Robert's Football Talk. I'm Robert, and what we just witnessed was not just a match loss. What we just witnessed was the complete breakdown of the FIFA corruption machine. Argentina couldn't accept losing fairly. They expected to win because FIFA was protecting them. They expected to win because they had VAR help. They expected to win because the referee was on their side. But Spain didn't care about FIFA's corruption. And when Argentina lost, they couldn't handle it. They snapped. They lost control. They showed the entire world what they really are. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now, because we're about to break down the post-match chaos. The final whistle. Spain 1-0 Argentina. Final whistle blows. And for one moment, there's silence. Argentina can't believe it. They lost. They actually lost. The team FIFA was protecting, the team that had VAR on their side, the team that had the corrupt referee, lost 1-0 to Spain on merit, on real football. And that's when it started. Subscribe if you saw the chaos coming. The emotional breakdown. Messi just stood there, looking devastated, looking lost, looking like a man who lost everything because he had his redemption story gone. His final World Cup glory gone. His chance to be the GOAT gone. And he couldn't handle it. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. The crying. Argentina players started crying. Not gentle tears. Not respectful defeat. Uncontrollable sobbing. Grown men. Elite athletes. World-class players. Crying like they'd lost everything. Because they had. They thought FIFA would carry them. They thought VAR would save them. They thought corruption would guarantee victory. But it didn't. And they couldn't handle the reality. Subscribe. The rage. Then the rage started. Argentina players turned angry. They started shouting at Spanish players. They started pushing. They started shoving. They started getting aggressive because they couldn't accept defeat. They couldn't accept that they lost fairly. They couldn't accept that Spain was better. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. The violence, full brawl. Argentina players trying to hit Spanish players. Punching, kicking, aggressive. One Argentina player threw a punch, another headbutted, another kicked. Security had to separate them. Referees had to intervene. This wasn't sportsmanship. This was thuggery. This was violence. And it showed the world exactly what Argentina is. Subscribe. Messi's final moment. Messi was in the middle of it. The GOAT, the legend, the greatest player. And he was part of the chaos, part of the violence, part of the rage. This is not how the GOAT should exit. This is shameful. This is embarrassing. This is the end of his legacy. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. Here's my controversial take. #1. Argentina's violence proves they couldn't accept fair defeat. If they believed they won fairly, they wouldn't fight. But they know they got help all tournament. They know they got protected by FIFA. They know they were carried by corruption. And when they lost to real football, they snapped because they never expected to lose fairly. Subscribe if you see the truth. Here's my controversial take. #2. Argentina should be banned from the next World Cup for violence, for aggression, for behavior unbecoming of champions. You can't fight after losing. You can't be violent toward opponents. You can't attack players. FIFA needs to punish this severely. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. Here's my controversial take. #3. This proves Argentina is not a legitimate World Cup team. Legitimate teams accept defeat. Legitimate teams respect opponents. Legitimate teams play football, not violence. But Argentina fought. Argentina attacked. Argentina showed no respect. That's not champions. That's thugs. Subscribe. Here's my controversial take. #4. Messi's reputation is destroyed. The GOAT doesn't fight after a match. The GOAT doesn't lose control. The GOAT doesn't attack opponents. But Messi did, and his legacy is permanently tarnished. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. Here's my controversial take. #5. This violence is FIFA's fault. FIFA created this monster. FIFA protected Argentina. FIFA gave them help. FIFA made them believe they were invincible. And when they lost, they couldn't handle reality. FIFA created this chaos. Subscribe. Here's my controversial take. #6. Argentina deserves this embarrassment. They got corrupt. They accepted FIFA's help. They thought they could win on corruption, but real football beat them, and they couldn't accept it. This is justice. This is karma. This is what they deserve. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. Here's my controversial take. #7. Spain should have fought back. Instead of being classy, Spain should have shown Argentina that you don't attack winners. Spain earned this victory. Spain deserved respect. But Argentina's violence was an insult to Spain's achievement. Subscribe. The security response. Security had to separate players. Police had to intervene. This wasn't a football match. This was a riot. This was chaos. This was violence. And it happened in front of the entire world. Argentina's shame on full display. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. The crying and violence combined. This is the worst kind of defeat. When a team loses and can't handle it. When emotions turn to violence. When desperation becomes aggression. That's what Argentina showed. They're not gracious losers. They're not professional. They're crybabies who turn violent. Subscribe. What the fans saw. Millions of people watching. Billions around the world. And they saw Argentina break down. They saw Argentina fight. They saw Argentina lose control. They saw the truth. Argentina is not a legitimate World Cup champion. Argentina is not worthy of FIFA's help. Argentina deserved to lose. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. The narrative collapse. FIFA's entire narrative destroyed. Messi's redemption story gone. Argentina's corruption machine exposed, all in one match. Spain proved that real football beats everything, and Argentina's violence proved that they knew they got help. Because legitimate winners don't fight. Only desperate cheaters fight. Subscribe. Messi's tears. The GOAT is crying. Not just tears, rage tears, frustration tears, desperation tears. Because he knows. He knows Argentina got help. He knows they should have lost earlier. He knows Spain is better, and he can't accept it, so he cries and fights. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. Griezmann's anger, another legend. Completely out of control, shouting, screaming, aggressive. This is not a professional. This is an animal. Subscribe. The broken promises. Argentina promised a return to glory. They promised redemption. They promised legacy. But instead, they got defeat and violence. This is the opposite of legacy. This is shame. This is disgrace. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. What this means for Argentina. Their reputation is destroyed. Their players are embarrassed. Their entire nation watched them lose control. This will haunt them for years. Every time they try to win something, this moment will follow them. This violence, this chaos, this shame. Subscribe. What this means for Messi. His career ends in disgrace. Not glory, not redemption, disgrace. The GOAT leaves as a sore loser. The GOAT leaves as someone who fought after defeat. The GOAT leaves as violent. This is not how legends should exit. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. What this means for FIFA. Their entire corruption machine exposed. If Argentina was legitimate, they wouldn't fight. The fact that they fought proves they knew they were cheating. The fact that they lost proves real football beats corruption. This is FIFA's worst nightmare. Subscribe what this means for Spain. Spain proved that real football wins. Spain proved that corruption doesn't matter. Spain proved that quality beats help. And Spain did it without violence, without aggression, without shame. Spain won with class. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. The slow motion replays, every punch, every kick, every aggressive moment, captured on camera, replayed millions of times. Argentina's shame on permanent display, forever recorded, forever remembered, forever embarrassing. Subscribe. The aftermath. Argentina players banned. FIFA investigations opening. Fines coming. Suspensions happening. This violence has consequences. But the damage is done. Argentina's reputation is destroyed. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. Alright, legends, that's the full breakdown. Argentina's complete meltdown. The violence, the crying, the rage, the chaos, everything. The final moment that exposed everything. And I want to know what you think. Do you think Argentina's violence was justified? Do you think they should be punished? Do you think this proves they got help all tournament? Do you think Messi's legacy is destroyed? Drop your opinion in the comments right now. I read every comment. Smash that like button. We're going for 1 million likes because this video shows the truth. Violence, desperation, corruption exposed. Subscribe right now. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your passion. I appreciate your anger at violence. I appreciate that you care about fair football. This is Robert on Robert's Football Talk. Argentina's violence proved everything. Spain's victory was legitimate. FIFA's corruption was exposed. Peace out, legends. And remember, sometimes violence proves guilt. Argentina's violence proved they knew they cheated. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. Let's go.